Hello guys, hello. I hope you guys are doing great. Hello everyone. Please share me out. You guys are doing great. Hello everyone. Please share me out. I hope everyone's having a great day and that you can see me. I know it's Tuesday and to me it feels like it should be Wednesday, but my days have been off the past couple of days. We are just redoing what we did last night. I had a lot of fun, but something weird. So we're just going to redo everything that we did last night. We're going to use a different palette tonight, though. And mostly some of the same products. I added in some products. So thank you all for coming. So I'm just gonna wait for some people to come in and we'll see where we get to and what kind of conversations. And yes, tonight I have everything together of what I'm going to be using. How about we start off with what we're going to be using and then we'll do some makeup, because last night I didn't actually really explain what we're going to be using. So how about I do that first, and then I don't have a look in mind. We're using a palette that I've never used before. Mostly the other products I either tested out in previous videos or I tested out last night. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to pull the chat up on my phone because sometimes StreamYard comments can be a little slower than the comments on my phone. And we'll go from there. And we'll see what is happening. And I always click the wrong button when it comes to YouTube on my phone sometimes. So now we have YouTube pulled up on my phone as well. And it is kind of hot right now. Hello to whoever just walked in. What we're going to be doing tonight, I'm going to be doing my makeup, but this time I'm going to make sure I show you all the products first. And all of that. And then we will do that. So let me know if you have any questions or anything. I will be answering your questions as we go along. And then so let me know if you have any questions. And I'll start going through the products. And tonight I won't be using my hands to do that. So let's get started with the products. First, I'm going to show you the eyeshadow. Now, I've never tried this eyeshadow palette, but it is the Venus palette from, it's the Venus 3 palette from Lime Crime. I don't think I've even ever heard of this company. So, this is an 8. This is an 8 eyeshadow palette. Usually most standard eyeshadows come with 12 shades. I do know some of ColourPop's palettes come with 9 shades. This one comes with specifically 8. And it looks like we have some neutrals, some sparkles, 1 shimmer. I don't know if these 2 shimmers are in a satin finish or a pressed glitter type situation, but they all look so pretty right now. And those look wonderful. So this is the Venus 3 palette from Lime Crime. We have this is from Ofra. We have the Banana Bright and Setting palette from Ofra as well. I have an Ofra. Mostly Ofra products I've tried were liquid lipsticks, and I love their liquid lipsticks. The mirror is going to be a little bright, but this is the Banana Setting in Bright Powder from Ofra. Like I said, I've only tried, close my finger. Hi Taylor, thank you for coming. So Taylor, I've only showed off one other product besides this, and it was the eyeshadow palette I'm going to use, which is the Venus 3 palette from Lime Crime. I've never tried this palette. This is what it looks like. It has 8 shades, but they're all pretty. This is more like a purple palette. Okay, it's more of a purple palette, which purples are fun. I have my basket here with all my products. And let me see. I forgot to leave my phone on. So I can see your comments, and I can tell that StreamYard comments are a little bit slower. Than what they usually are. Now I have your comments on. Hi, in the kitchen with Lynn. How are you? So, we have, this is an eyeshadow brush set. I don't remember what company this is from, but these have movement in them when you twirl the brushes. So those are the brushes I'm going to be using. I'm good. How are you? Hi, Famil Nation. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. So those are the brushes I'm going to be using. We have some extra brushes just in case. You never can go wrong with too many eyeshadow brushes. We have another pack of eyeshadow brushes here. We have a rose water setting spray from Maeve. Okay, if I hold it the other way, it's off screen. It's opposite on your screen than it is on my screen. So if I hold it in my left hand, you see it better. So this is the rose water setting spray from Maeve. Then we have a contour palette from Ace Beauté. It comes with 4 shades in this. I always forget this hand. Yeah, the mirror. I'm glad this one has a mirror in it because you know some palettes of companies that make them decide never to put a mirror in. We also have skin tint from Makeup Studio, and there's a glare on the camera for some reason. So that's from Makeup Studio. We have the highlighter palette from Kinder. I'm not really sure. Their packaging is pretty though. It's pink and gold. Yes, I'm more in the winter and fall I love my earth tone palettes. In the spring I like my color, but on a day-to-day basis, if I'm gonna put on makeup day-to-day, I will definitely use earth tones. We have two choices of concealer. This is from Tarte, and I had it upside down. And this one is from Prestique. One of these days I'm going to figure out these camera angles. And we have a couple of more. This is the brow thing I'm going to be using. This is also from Prestique as well. We have a lip pencil from Valet Beauty. Hello, Eat to Live Strong. Thank you. Have fun working. I know you work hard. We have another choice of highlighter, which I realized I never took out the box until now. So let's see if we can get this one out. This one looks like some sort of pin. I'll have to test this one as well. This is from Metal Crush. I've never tried anything from Metal Crush. I don't know anything about that company. I don't even know how this one works. So let's see if I can at least get the top off. There's the applicator on one side and this must, okay, this is really hard. If I cannot pull this off, then we will not, oh, you click it. No wonder, I'm sitting here trying to pull this thing off. And this one you click from the bottom. I did not know that till I heard it click. So no need to pull it off. We have a couple more products in here. We have a eye primer from Versace Art. The Ultra lipstick I was just talking about. I love this color. It's in Monaco. Trying to figure out. Yeah, I'll do that way. This is from Ultra as well. And we have another concealer. This is from Too Faced. This one's a little bit thicker than the other one I showed you though. So let's get started with some setting spray because my skin is a little dry. So if we start with setting spray, we can't go wrong because it has rose water in it. Before we try setting spray, we're going to start with this Benefit Primer. But I'm going to spray myself with the water first because sometimes the rose water is not hydrating enough, but regular water can be hydrating to your skin, so I'm going to spray myself with water first. But I would say close your eyes so you don't spray yourself in the eye. Okay. That was refreshing. But if I had a rose water mist, I could have used that instead. But regular water is just fine. This is the Pore Professional Primer from Benefit. I love this primer, and it's a lot more mattifying than the one from Saturday Skin that you've seen me use a bunch of times. I just have that amount. This I'm going to apply with my fingers because it's a lot easier. No need for a beauty blender for this. So I'm just going to rub this all over and get it in place. So what did you guys do today? Did you do anything fun? Is anybody planning any summer vacations? I'm just getting some more to do the top of my forehead. Is anybody planning some sort of staycation or an actual vacation? Anybody ready to fly or something? Let me know. So primer is on. We are going to move to the Studio Makeup Skin Tint. And this shade does match. Sometimes BoxyCharm doesn't get the shades correct, but this one's good enough. And I prefer a skin tint in the summer instead of a heavy foundation. But the only thing I don't like about this product is the container, because it comes in a tube and then it has a pump on it. I would prefer a glass bottle because you have to shake the tube too much for the pump to work, and it can be a little messy. In this cup, with cute little animals on it. I have a damp beauty blender that's still full of water. So I'm going to squeeze it out. So it will not be damp anymore. I'm going to squeeze the water into the cup. I still want it damp, but I don't want it like soaking wet. So now that it's less damp, still damp, work today, next, until next view. I understand. I'm not taking a vacation either, so I'm just gonna spray this on the beauty blender. This is why I don't like this tube, because it doesn't come out all the time. And you have to keep shaking it every time you want to get it out. I hope they decide to put this in a glass bottle eventually. So there's about 3 drops on the beauty blender. So we're just gonna blend this in. And so you just kind of want to tap it in. You don't have to move it around too much because it's not supposed to be heavy. I actually haven't tried to build this up any, so I can't let you know if this is actually buildable or not. But for me, it just gives light coverage, which I honestly prefer. And this probably would look better if you use a brush. But I thought I would give this a shot with the beauty blender. I use a beauty blender some of the time, but I mostly try to use brushes when it comes to foundations or skin tints, because I feel like they move the product around better and they don't soak up as much product as all of the beauty blenders of the world. Because beauty blenders, depending on the product and how quickly it absorbs, it will suck up a lot of product, which means you have to use a lot more, which I honestly don't like using a lot of product, but sometimes, depending on the day, you need a little bit more or a little bit less. And this one doesn't have an awful smell to it. Some of them do. But this one smells as natural as possible. See how messy the pump is? I'll have to clean that off when we're done, because it doesn't like to come out all the time. Now I'm just going to let that sit in now that it's all blended. I'm going to take this brow pencil to twist it to get the pigment, and I'm going to start with my eyebrows. My eyebrows look pretty good to me, but I want them to be a little bit more fluffy on both sides. So we're going to start with this one, and I'm just going to draw my natural shape as much as I possibly can. And yeah, I'm going to draw my natural shape. But I need the mirror to do that. It's hard to look in the monitor and do that. Well, I hope you have a wonderful dinner. And thank you. So, we're going to start with this one. I usually start from the front. If you can tell, I haven't had my eyebrows plucked in a while. Yes, I prefer to pluck them than to thread them or anything like that. Because threading hurts. Waxing, I'm allergic to, even though it goes away in a day. I can't really do the wax. And then they still have to do extra work. You're welcome. After they've been plucked, after you have them waxed, they still have to pluck them to make them better. So if I start at the tip of my eyebrow and then follow my natural shape, and I add most of the color. I'm barely touching it, but I add most of the color to the tail end of my brow, and then I go back to the front and lay the top down as well. And that's pretty much all I do for the brow. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side, but I'm going to add more to the front. So we're going to start this one in the front. Then work our way back to the end. Like so. And then we're going to take the other end after you close down the pencil. You just have to twist it. I twisted it the wrong way. We're going to take the other end where we have the dual-ended part to pull out the brush. And then we're going to run this, it's a brow gel, through the brow. I do this so my brows will lay down. And I don't like brow gels that are crunchy. This one is not crunchy. It's an actual brown. Usually I will use a black, but BoxyCharm sent brown, so this is what we're using. And that's all I do for my brows. Sometimes the ends will act a little bit weird, but the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the thicker concealer that I showed you. This one. I'm going to Carve Out My Brows. This one. Oh, I have the bottle backwards. This one I'm going to use to carve them out. This one, I don't like the way it smells, but it works. So I can get over the smell for like 30 seconds while I carve them out. And what I mean by carve them out, all I'm going to do is put concealer over the top and underneath my brow, following the exact same shape that I tried to create. This one can be a little messy because it can get in your brow. So if I look straight into the camera, try not to get it in your brow. I think out of everything, this process takes the longest. If you notice in all of my videos, I try not to show the brow step because this part can get a little interesting. I try not to show that step, and you're probably like, this looks messy. It is. So that's one brow, and I try to do this before the concealer dries. I'm going to take a brush from this pack. Doesn't matter. I need a smaller brush that fits. Sometimes they don't like to come out. You can do this with a beauty blender, but I feel like a brush is more precise. So where you see concealer, I'm just going to blend it in, trying not to change the color of my brow, which I did get concealer in my brow, but it won't dry in my brow because of the brow gel, so I will just wipe it off. And any extra concealer that doesn't blend in perfectly, I will just wipe it off with a tissue. So like the bottom part, you can still see there's concealer that's not perfectly blended. So we're just going to try and blend as much of it into my eyebrow, or like the top of my eyelid. It can match a little bit. That's a little bit better. With the part I want to wipe off, I'm gonna just use this cloth. I call it a cloth. It might not be called a cloth. It could be called something else. But it's just a pad, and I take this little thing and I wipe off any extra. Now I have to go back to where the concealer already dried and made my eyebrow brown in the front from the concealer. I'll just go back in with the pencil and add some color. Color back in. over. So if I'm looking too far down, I just add the color back in on that side. And we're good to go. That's one eyebrow, and we already saw how long that took. But you don't have to clean them up underneath if that's not your preference. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on my mood. Sometimes I just leave my brows alone altogether because sometimes people think that your brows have to be twins, but your brows do not. They are sisters. Not all brows are the same. So they don't have to look perfectly alike. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Trying to get as close up to that line as possible. It'll dry down a little bit, but just follow either the shape you're trying to create or the shape that you want. You're going to clean them up. Try your best to follow that shape on both, and I added extra to both sides just so on this side I will use the beauty blender to fix the shape because I like the way it came out with the brush, but I can definitely do better with the tip of the beauty blender. Yeah. Thank you for still being here. I Need to Live Strong says her brows are her weak spot. My brows used to be my weak spot because I used to pluck them a lot because I thought they were too bushy. But then I just kind of left them alone and they started growing out. And I was like, okay, don't overpluck them. If they get too overgrown on the top, that's the only thing you need to take off. Is that, see, with the beauty blender tip, I can get close in and do this as well. Try to do this without leaning too far forward. And I'm just tracing the shape. And I already created. This is still damp. If it dries out on you, I would say keep a water bottle and spray it. But this is still damp enough for me. And if you get concealer on your eyes, it's okay because you can just use the excess concealer as a primer, which this is, like I said, a very, very thick. So putting the concealer here and above gives me a lot more to play with eyeshadow. And it looks like now my brows don't take up that much room as they did. So it gives you like an extra, let's say, 1/4 of an inch on your eyelid. If I close my eye, you can see how much space it looks like there is now, see look, between my eyelid and my actual eyebrow. So that's what cleaning them up actually does. Now we're gonna work on eyeshadow. Let's do under eye concealer before we do eyeshadow. I'm always changing my mind as I go because I don't want concealer to get in the way. And for under eye concealer, I'm not going to use this thick concealer I've showed you to do my eyebrows. I'm going to use the thinner concealer because I don't need concealer that much on my under eyes, but this makes you look awake, so. And most of the time, if I'm going out, this is what I will do minus the skin tint. So I'm just gonna put this here, like where my eye lid begins and ends. So I only need 2 dots on each side. Because too much concealer can look cakey. So I only take those 2 dots to put on concealer. And then I'll blend it across or in place. Today we're only going to do it in place. Same beauty blender. I'm just going to tap. I don't like to spread it, I just like to tap it in. And eventually, this will just give you a glow. The Glow Wand from Tarte. If you want to illuminate, that's the one you use. If you want to cover up anything, definitely use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer because it's a lot thicker. So it's definitely thicker than the first one you see me use. Sometimes you have to use like the pointy point of the beauty blender to actually get in the corner. You kind of have to press it. So press it in to get that little corner. So now we're going to move on to eyeshadow. After we brighten, because I don't want this concealer to crease, because I've noticed from using both of them before they crease, so I don't want to forget the banana powder. Or you can use translucent powder. So I'm just going to take the bottom of the sponge or the butt of the sponge, like so. Tap it in. See, this is the other thing about doing it this way. It's hard to figure out where the camera's going to pick up so you guys can see. And we're just going to powder the under eye situation. I don't need to powder the skin tint. If I put on a thicker layer of it, I would have. So So I'm just tapping it in here. You may have to brush it if your beauty blender is not picking it up. But I'm just putting the banana powder. It will definitely brighten your under eyes if you need it to. So this is starting to get a little dry, so I'm going to spray the beauty blender with some water. You don't want to do this in front of the screen so it doesn't get on camera. So I'm just spraying the beauty blender with some extra water. You make it moist again, because once it starts to dry, it doesn't pick up powder as much. So if you guys have any questions, you can actually type them in the chat. I'm just gonna let the extra powder sit for a minute while we work on the eyes. Now, we're using this 8-pan palette from Lime Crime. We're going to start with our transition shade, which is the last one on the top row, which is called Rapture, apparently. And yeah. I have a bag of brushes with all different sizes here. So we're just going to use the brush. I'm going to use this brush here. This one's from Muda. I believe it is their BMX shade brush. The number on it is 466 or something like that. Oh, we cannot use the shade Rapture. Thank you, Eat to Live Strong. This one has some glitter in it, and I don't want to put glitter on my eyes right away. So we're going to use the color Dreamy over here instead. If the concealer doesn't work, okay. The concealer is now dry, so we're going to use some eye primer. It is okay. I thought the concealer would still be wet. So before I apply that color, I grab lip balm instead of eye primer, but that is okay. The eye primer has evidently walked away, so we might have to go back in with concealer unless the eye primer makes an appearance, which it has not at the moment. So we're just going to take this extra concealer to use as an eye primer for the moment. If it decides to pop up, then we'll use eye primer on the other eye. So we're going to just start with this eye. And I'm just running this across my eye. It's like the natural eye shade lid. So it won't even look like concealer, to be honest. It'll just look like a primer. So I'm just running this all across my eye as a primer. So put the top back on. That one's magnetic. So I'm just going to take that same brush that's now stuck underneath the camera and just use the color Dreamy, which is here, and put that on the lid. Oh, just so you know, if you're not into fallout, this one has a lot of fallout on the edge of the pan. I don't mind fallout if I know a pan naturally has fallout, which most of them do, but if it's a lot of it, then I will just do my eyes first and then do my base to avoid fallout on the base of my face. So what I'm doing is trying to keep the pink color just on the outer portion of my lid, just on the outer. So make sure you only get it on the outer. And sometimes you have to wiggle it in the corner to get it to stay in the corner. So that's how I get it perfectly in the corner. We're just gonna go in again and wiggle it in the corner. I'm also lifting my eyelid, but not like going into my eyelid. I'm lifting it and wiggling it. Now we're just going to do the other side, but it's harder to do this side because I have to turn my head so I can't really see. And then try to bring it over, but not too far. But I can kind of tell from where I can feel the brush where that portion of my eye is. I'm just gonna wiggle it and bring it over as well. Try to make sure it's both sides are semi-even, which one side looks a little bit better, like this side does not. I'm just gonna slide it over some and wiggle more of it in the corner. Okay, now that we have that one, I'm also going to take the purple shade which is called Paradise. And I'm going to use the same brush, but this time I'm going to put this one on the inner portion of my eye. So I'm going to tap it in only on the inner portion, but bring it up and over enough to where the two colors meet a little bit. And get it in the crease. So the crease looks like there's two colors. And if you get it on the side of your nose like I do when I'm trying to get in that little tiny space, I will easily get that off later. So I'm just going to wiggle the color Paradise on the inner portion of my eye and bring it over enough so these two kind of match. They match a little bit better. And that's basically all I would do. Maybe we could try a shimmer. Maybe we might. I might try a shimmer. I'm feeling a little bit sparkly, so let's see if we can do a shimmer. So I'm going to take another brush with a flat brush. Then I'm going to spray with setting spray. But let's try the color without setting spray first, and then we'll try it with setting spray. Because sometimes shimmers work better with your finger or a dry brush, so I'm just going to use this flat brush. And we're going to go into the shade Beamy here. It's probably blurry in the camera because it's sparkly, but it's like a pink flex to it, so I'm just going to see if I can pick it up with a brush. And then try to focus it on the center. It comes off a little bit with just a dry brush, but I know better. I'm going to take a dab of concealer or eye primer, whatever you choose. I want to carve out a spot for it. So I'm going to place the concealer on the center. I have concealer on the center of both eyes, so let it dry a little bit before I spray the brush because it'll be easier. And I don't want to wipe it off. So I just place like 3 dots to where I want the sparkle to go. And it's not quite dry yet. So I'm going to take this setting spray. It's the Rose Water setting spray from Maeve's Beauty. Spray the brush. The mister on this is fine, and I love the smell of rose water, or just roses in general. So now that the brush is wet, we're going to dip into the second shade called Beamy. Sometimes you have to work it in on the tip. Concealer should be a little bit. Should be a little bit drier now without getting concealer. Still a little too wet. So you kind of just want to wipe it off. Just from the concealer on my eye. I don't want the brush to have concealer in it or the eyeshadow itself, so I'm just taking the brush and wiping in the pan to, I kind of have to dig this one up to place it on. Now that the flakes are starting to come off, I don't know how I feel about this eyeshadow palette. I'm not sure. I love the colors, but to actually see this much fallout is kind of like I literally had to dig into that shade for it to come off. Like there it is, but now I'm trying to get it on my eye, but the more I paint it on, the more it's falling off. So we're gonna try a different color. I'm gonna wipe off this brush and try a different color. For some reason, that one doesn't work, so I'm just taking this thing. Because the concealer now is dry, it's barely on my eye, more so on my eyelash. Maybe there's some kind of outer layer or something on the shadow. Now let's try Heavenly. Will Heavenly stick? Okay, yeah. Heavenly is sticking. A mix of the two are sticking. Okay, there it is. It's starting to come a little bit better than what it was. And then I'll probably pack it on with my finger, because maybe the shadow just doesn't like a brush. Some shadows don't. Let me spray my finger. Or better yet, wheel and spray. I've never done this before. I'm going to spray it directly in the eyeshadow itself. And see what happens. I sprayed setting spray directly in both of those shades. And go back to our flat brush since the shade is like literally wet now. It should work on both sides. And let's see if it works better. Oh yes. Oh yes. This is working a lot better. Yes, this is working a lot better. I sprayed the inside and it works a lot better. But the other side I'm going to do with my finger. Just because this one doesn't seem to like a brush. I had to spray the inside of the eyeshadow with setting spray for it to work. And that's too much work. So, other side we're just going to go on with my finger. Mixing both shades together. I'm going to tap them in. And see if they come off together. And I'm not pressing that hard with my finger. It came off a lot better. I still think you need the setting spray, because on this eye, it's one side is brighter and the other side is not. So even if you use your finger, you still need setting spray, because one side looks bright, especially when I'm looking in the direct mirror. One side looks brighter than the other. I actually prefer this side because it's brighter. And I like sparkle compared to this side. Now y'all can tell me which side y'all like better, but I have a preference. But I would like to know. I still think this eyeshadow look came out great, even though the sparkle part did not work. But I will have to try this one again because maybe it just wasn't in the mood today. Maybe it was like, we don't want to sparkle, so we're not going to let you have sparkle, which that is okay. Not every day is a sparkle day. Some days are neutral. And maybe today just wasn't a sparkle day. Now we're going to go into highlighter. Every day is not a sparkle. We should bronze first, because then I can put highlighter on top of the bronzer. So I'm going to take this brush from Alamar. I believe this is one of their contour brushes, but it came in a pack of 3. So I'm not sure which one this is specifically. And then we're going to take this palette. And I usually start with the 3rd shade because it's not that dark. And I just run. If the roll stop falling, I just do this. Pick it up. And if it's really powdery, for some reason, this one is powdery today. And kind of just want to tap it off. And I just go down my face a little bit. On that side, the line is a little bit harsh. I don't want it to be that harsh. But on the other side, I'm going to do the same. Just to match each line. And then I'm going to take the Beauty Blender to diffuse it out a little bit better. Okay, so both sides have color on them. And then we're going to do my forehead in the lighter shade. I'm only going to use this around the perimeter. So here and all the way across the perimeter. But I usually start on my temples on both sides before I do the rest. Just wiggle it in. And then we run it across the top. Okay. So that did darken it up. Trying not to get it in my hair. But so that's that. Now we're going to take this Beauty Blender, and where the harsh lines are, I'm just going to tap them in a little bit. While it's still a little bit dry. You just kind of want to tap it in until you see the harsh line of it fade. So usually if I'm doing this and I'm not filming, I have some kind of music going on or something. So right now, what am I listening to? Right now I'm listening to a lot of Lauren Daigle. If you don't know who she is, she sings the song You Say, and she has this beautiful song called Rescue right now. And somehow my screen got a little bit smaller. I must have hit the button, didn't realize it. There we go. You're back at the right size. So I have done that. Now I don't actually have a blush, like an actual what you consider a blush palette, but this palette does have a pinkish color right here called Bliss. So I'm going to use Bliss as my blush shade really quickly. So, like I was saying, Lauren Daigle is really what I'm into right now. There's some Tasha Cobb songs I'm really into. This is just another Alamar brush. So I'm just gonna put this on my cheek. And hold on. It's not as red as I thought it would be. So that's pretty good. I just like putting it on my cheek. Sometimes I will take the blush out a little bit and go up. But today we're just gonna go on the cheek. Maybe I'll have to do the up and out on another day. Let's do it on this side now. Same side. So sometimes when I don't have a specific blush palette, I will find the reddest or the rosiest or the peachiest color in the palette and use that for blush. But sometimes they can be a little too dark. So this one's a little too bright for me for a blush shade, but it fits the purpose. So we're just going to keep adding that on. Now, Beauty Blender has been my best friend today. So I'm just going to add that into each cheek. Diffuse some of this red color. Doing that on both sides. You can see the red is starting to diffuse a little bit and it's not running into the contour as much. So that makes me happy. That's good enough. Now, highlighter. Now this one closes like that. It would be better if it was magnetic, but it closes. I thought I was going to use the liquid highlighter, but I changed my mind because I already have one powder and I don't like mixing powder and liquid. So I'm going to use the one from Kinder. This one has 4 shades. I still love this packaging. So it has very blinding highlights. They have 4 colors and the colors are on the back. I see why the colors have to be on the back for this palette because the pans are so large, but I don't like having the look on the back of the palette. Maybe that's just me being picky, but I don't like the look on the back of the palette. I'm sorry. I want to look right on the front of each square to tell me where colors are. I'm going to use that same brush that I just used for blush. I'm going to dust it off a little bit just in case there's some extra pigment that I don't want on my face. And I'm going to use the color Gracious over here. That's the blinding one that it looks like. So I'm going to do this above my cheek into the back. On both sides. Do it with a flicker. Like so. This side isn't flicked enough. There we go. It's better. This highlight you can't really see on camera, but I can see it. It's really pretty. But you just flicker it off and on so it's not too blinding. Nobody really wants a blinding highlight. Maybe you do, but usually I go for a more subtle highlight. And there might come a day where I'm like, I want a little bit of blinding highlight. I'm going to go back to this flat brush that I used earlier. I'm going to dip it in that same sage you just seen me use, but this time I'm going to add that to my inner corner on both sides of my eye. So, getting close to my inner corner is hard with my eyes being open, but I'm going to close them for like 2 seconds so I can do that. And you have to, if you're not comfortable with it, you have to do it with your eye open, but I can do it by feel. So, and it's a less chance that I will poke myself in the eye when I do it with my eyes closed. Twist. And now we have both of it in the inner corner. Now, today I'm not going to do my lower lash line like I would normally do because it's allergy season and my eyes are already watery. So if I put eyeshadow down here like I normally do to blend in all the colors, my eyes will water a lot more than what they used to. So we will be skipping that step. Now I'm just going to set my entire face now. Now that everything's on and nothing's out of place, I'm going to go back to that banana powder and see if I need to set my entire face or not. I'm just going to look in the mirror. No extra powder is necessary, at least in my opinion, but you can. I will not. The only thing I will do is get all this extra powder off my nose. Since the beauty blender is wet, I will wipe my nose with it because it still has eyeshadow and on the bridge of my nose. So I can contour the side and it came directly off. Thank goodness. It did not stain my nose. So now I'm going to use the same flat brush to somewhat contour my nose. So I'm going to use the bronzer Paradise palette that I've been using to contour. But I'm going to use the lightest shade in the palette to do this. I'm going to start at the top of my nose on whatever side you choose and run it down. Okay, I have to wipe the powder off this mirror first because I can't see can't see with all the powder on it. It looks like I'm adding too much powder. So I'm just wiping it off. It's like, girl, it has time. So let me just do that again. Picking up the powder and running it down my nose on both sides. And this is not perfect, but it'll do for now. And then I'm going to add a little bit to the tip of my nose, just right there. Blending it in, looking down. I could have done this with a beauty blender, but I just decided to take a brush for now. If I'm looking way too far down the camera, I know. So like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect, and this won't because I'm looking at the camera instead of the mirror, but you guys can't see what I'm doing if I'm looking way too far down. So that's as good as we're gonna get from that angle, which is fine. Now we're gonna move on to the last steps, which is my favorite steps besides eyeshadow. We're gonna take this lip liner from, I don't even know where it's from. Oh, this is from Saint Lux. It's called Love Letter. It's more of a mauve color lip liner. And I'm just going to line my lips. I usually overline them. Today I'm not. Today I'm gonna hollow natural shape. I might overline my top lip just a little bit. Just a little bit. So I don't know why I usually overline my top lip, but I don't really have an explanation. Actually, from where I started, this isn't overlined at all. I kind of started in the center. But if I shade this in, I'm not going to. I'm gonna let the lipstick do that. I'm gonna do a combination of things. And I'm just gonna make sure I get the little tip as well. I'm going to do the nude in the center. So I'm gonna take this liquid lip from Ofra as well. This is in the shade Morocco. I'm going to do this on the lip like so. All over. like that. And because I can't leave well enough alone, thank you, Eat to Live Strong. And just because I can't leave well enough alone, I'm gonna put the nude lipstick in the center. Just because I can be extra sometimes. Just because. This one is from, can't actually see it, Sophia and Mabel. This is a hybrid lipstick, so it's like a lipstick and a liquid lip together. And honestly, I'm just gonna place this in the center. So. That was just me mixing the two together just a little bit. It's not a lot. But yeah. I clicked your comment to make it come up on the screen. There we go. I only edited. My mouse is being a friend. You know, it keeps clicking things. So I'm just gonna do that here. And I'm just kind of like tapping in, not really brushing. So you tap and swipe like so to give it a little extra color. And we are done. Besides setting spray to lock all this into place. Even though I'm gonna wash this off as soon as we get off live, I'm going to set this with setting spray anyway. So close your eyes so you don't get it in your eye. Wow. Just because I want this to dry quicker, I have a fan. And this is what I do when I'm in a hurry. Okay, now did the fan stop working? Yes, it did. Interesting, fan. You came on and you stopped working. I did not check the battery before I started this. Let's see if we can get it to come on. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. The batteries weren't pushed in far enough. Now I'm just gonna dry the setting spray. And this actually feels good because it's like 85 degrees or something like that. Well, my computer says 77, but I don't think that's actually true. I really don't. It feels way hotter than 77. But maybe the computer's right, I don't know. Again, setting spray is dry. We're done with the fan. And that was this makeup look. It was very simple. Because honestly, I only used 4 colors. Technically, I could have left it at 2 and it would have been fine. But sometimes you want to go the extra mile. On my day-to-day basis, I'll probably have to show you guys in a video or something what my Sunday makeup looks like. Like when I'm going out the door and I'm going to church or something, I'll have to show you what they look like. Because technically, if I'm not filming it, it takes me 10 minutes. Because it's usually 2 colors, not an extra or anything. So I may have to film that eventually. Even though I'm not leaving my house, Like, I still don't leave my house unless I have to. And that is not often because a lot of the things I would normally do or the people I would normally have to go see, they're still doing like virtual things unless you have to see them in person. But there is a few appointments over the next month or two that I have to see in person, so that's when I'll probably leave my house. Or if I just want some fresh air, closest I'll go to like to my front door and sit for a second, but I still don't really ever leave the house. And starting July 11th, my church is opening its doors. But instead of the normal 3 services we have, they're cutting it down to 1. And you have to register for it, and there's a whole lot of protocols and all of that. But I don't think I might have said this before. I haven't gotten my new chair yet. The order for my new chair can go in this month, but I still have to be measured for it, and then the insurance company has to sign off on it and things like that. So hopefully once they get the paperwork, somebody will come and I'll get measured for it, because usually you have to go far out to get measured for it. But they are coming to my house to do that because they don't want to. They say they don't want to use the old measurements because just in case I'm not the same size, which I believe it's been 5 years. Yeah, it's been 5 years because you only can get a new chair every 5 years. And the chair that I have now, that I was thankful that someone lent to me, it's been like a long since October since I haven't had my regular chair, which is I think the longest in my whole entire time that I've never had my chair. Like, I've never been to a point to where they're like, okay, it's broken, we can't fix it, and then you have to wait umpteen months for it. I don't think we've ever reached that point, but 2020 made us reach that point, but it is okay. So they will definitely come and measure for that. And guys, I just realized my phone died. So I need to plug this in to the charger, and we're gonna hang out, and y'all can ask me questions, or we can talk about it, something for the next half an hour, because we're trying to make this a 2-hour thing, and we're already at like an hour 30 minutes, I believe. So I just plugged my phone in. Hopefully it's charging. Oh yeah, I saw the little light come on. I didn't even realize it died. So, what are you guys watching on TV? Because there's so many shows that I honestly need to catch up on. The Bachelor came out 2 weeks ago, and I still haven't watched a single episode. There's a lot of reboots happening that I haven't looked into yet. Thank you. Yeah. So I am still trying to figure out what I need to catch up on TV wise. There's another project that I'm working on that I'm still trying to put together, but that's gonna take me over the next few months, and y'all probably will see sneak peeks of that in vlogs or something. But there's also there's a lot of things out right now. There's a couple of secret projects, and thank you. So there's one project that I'm making by hand that I'm working on. There's another project I'm looking into. And when it comes to TV, the things I'm watching, I need to catch up on The Bachelorette. I mentioned that. I'm sad that Grey's Anatomy's gone off for this season because that is like my favorite show. I was so happy that Maggie and Jackson decided to take over the Catherine Fox Foundation, which I was surprised by because he always talked about being a doctor. But I think 2020 made him realize how privileged of a life he lived, and now he wants to make some changes. So he took over the Catherine Fox Foundation, which I'm happy for him, but he's no longer on the show and he's moving to Boston. I'm hoping that him and April got together because if you've been watching Grey's Anatomy, if you haven't been watching Grey's Anatomy, I'm about to spoil some things for you, but it's still, even if I spoil it for you, you need to watch. Now, a few seasons ago, April married Matthew. Matthew was the guy that was the EMT that she was dating, but she was in love with Jackson, but she was going to marry Matthew, and she left Matthew at the altar and ran out with Jackson, and her and Jackson got married. Then when her and Jackson got married, they had a son named Samuel. He was born with a condition. It was like some kind of brittle bone or something. So they lost their baby, and then April ran off to the military. Jackson stayed in Seattle. And then eventually they got divorced. Her and Matthew fell back in love because they related on the whole religious aspect of life, and she did have love for Matthew, but she wasn't in love with him at the time that she was going to marry him. And then when Matthew's wife died because of a condition, him and April kind of found their way back to each other. So him and April kind of got back together, got married. And then when Jackson decided to leave, he didn't want to leave their daughter Harriet behind, which is the daughter he has with April. And it was like, I don't want to leave you behind. I don't want to be out of April's life or Harriet's life. So let me invite them to Boston. And Jackson told her, Matthew can come and y'all can do whatever y'all want. We can find you a job in the foundation, or you can continue your careers in Boston. Jackson found out that Matthew and April were divorced. April decided to go to Boston with Jackson and take Harriet. So I'm hoping there's some kind of April and Jackson spinoff, but I do know the person who plays April, which her real name is Sarah Drew. She's on this series on, I think it's called series. I don't remember what channel it is, but the series is called Cruel Summer. Haven't gotten into that yet either, so I'm gonna have to look at that. But it's called Cruel Summer. I need to also catch up on Grownish as well. But Grey's Anatomy is over the season. And if you know me and you know me well, I like my cooking shows. So I will watch the Food Network all day if you let me. And be perfectly fine. Hi Eric, how are you? Yeah. So this is the makeup look I came up with today. Very simple. So now I'm going over the shows that I'm watching at the moment. So I'm also watching Hell's Kitchen right now. If you don't know what that is, it's a cooking competition show for usually a job as a head chef in a restaurant. This season, they're going to be awarded a head chef position at one of Gordon Ramsay's restaurants. And they're also going to be his apprentice. So that should be interesting. And he's doing like a younger generation. So these people, most of them have not even gone to culinary school yet. So that's very interesting. What happened to your curls in your hair? Eric, they're still in my hair. I just have them pulled back in my ponytail because as the curls get looser, they start falling because like my natural hair is very long. So when my hair is in tight curls, it looks a lot shorter. But once the curls start falling, they start going, they're still being curls, but they start going back to its regular length. And they were starting to fall in my face. So I had to pull them back in a ponytail because I don't like my hair in my face. And usually the first thing people think is, well, if you don't like your hair in your face and you don't like your long hair, then cut it. No. I'm very skeptical about cutting my hair because naturally I like my long hair. I just don't like it when it's in my face. So if I do have it down, I will either have a headband on so it's not in my face, or I will pin it back behind my ears. But today it was just too hot for it to be in my face, so I just pulled it back in the ponytail. But they're still there. I'll have to, probably by the beginning of next week, I'll be rewashing my hair and doing this whole style over until, because the plan is in about a month or two, the plan is to dye my hair. But we have to get into the hairdresser because I only let a professional person dye my hair. My mother usually does my hair when I can't get to the hairdresser, but she's not going to be dyeing my hair. The hairdresser will be doing that. So once I can get an appointment for that, I won't be dyeing my whole hair, so it'll still have most of my natural color. It'll just be streaked. I've dyed my hair before. Like maybe, I think it's been about maybe 5 or 6 years since I last dyed my hair. What color? The color, I'm not really sure. It's going to be either a blonde or a red. I haven't decided. Or it might just be a mix of the two. I don't know. Whatever the hairdresser comes up with. Okay. Eric, I'm pretty sure you don't look like a werewolf. I'm pretty sure you don't, but I can understand what you mean. But I'm pretty sure you don't look like a. I'm pretty sure you don't look like a werewolf at all. But I can understand what you mean by that. But yeah. Oh, dyeing my hair. I probably will film that when the professional does it. Yeah, it'll probably be filmed because I try to film pretty much everything these days, or as much as possible that I want to be on camera. So yeah. Anyway. My curly hair routine was going to come out tomorrow, but I had to move it to Saturday because I don't want to go live and then put out a video the next day. Yeah. Eric, you do not look like a werewolf, but like I said, I understand, but I get it. Speak for myself. I don't think you could pretty much ever look like a werewolf. But I get but I get it. So yeah. So my curly hair routine will come out on Saturday instead, because I do have a video coming out on Friday, but it's not on this channel. It's on my gaming channel instead. So they don't run into things like they did today. There is a video on my gaming channel that I put out today, because I wasn't even planning to go live today, but things happening. There's always a change in plans. But yeah. That'll come out on Saturday instead. Monday's video, I haven't really decided what that's going to be. This weekend, I plan to do most likely absolutely nothing if I can handle it. Because there's rarely ever a weekend where I do absolutely nothing, where I don't turn on the camera or anything. Eric says, all I know is I hate having hair all over my face. Yeah, you do. I think you've told me that before. And I could see a beard is not for everyone. So it's just your personal preference not to have one. So my plan is to do absolutely nothing this weekend. Because I don't want to. And then I know there's probably going to be a lot of barbecues going on for like Father's Day or all that stuff that's going on this weekend. And I'm surprised that we're literally, the year is half over. To me, it still feels like the year just started and now we're talking about the year is half over. But I will not be going to any barbecues this weekend. If there's going to be like some kind of barbecue, it's going to be in my house. And I'm not planning on going anywhere. So are y'all doing anything special for the weekend? I know some of you might have plans. Let me know if you have plans. Are you barbecuing? Are you grilling? Are you going away for the weekend? Are you doing some kind of last minute Father's Day shopping? Or is it traditional that you what? Eric says it's definitely not me. Not for me. I can understand. So there's nothing, or is it traditional that you just get? Do you hand out grills for Father's Day? you hand out like barbecue equipment or something. I was always curious of what people give as gifts for Father's Day. I know my dad, all he ever wanted for Father's Day is for us to spend the day together, and he wanted his rib sandwiches. Yeah, he was really big on rib sandwiches, so that was basically his Father's Day. From like the time I was little to about 14 or 15. I don't. Eric Taylor, you're back. Eric says I'm really self-conscious about the way I look. That's why I really haven't performed. I can understand that. Everybody has a preference for the way they look. I never used to wear my hair curly at all. So I always used to wear my hair straight. If it started to get curly, I used to be like, no, we gotta straighten my hair. We gotta straighten my hair. We gotta straighten my hair because I never liked it curly because it looked too poofy. Like even now, I've gotten used to when the curls start to come in and out, they look poofy. It's a little strong. Says I'm going to relax. I agree with you on that one. Yeah, I'm doing nothing. No, I don't know. I still have to think about what are we gonna do for Sunday dinner because I believe it's my turn to cook or at least decide what we're gonna do for Sunday dinner. But that's days away. I can think about it. See, but here's the thing: I don't grill, and it's honestly too hot to cook. If I'm honest, it's too hot to cook. So we might have to like mix up some cold salads or something like some pasta salad or something because it's just too hot to cook and either cooking over the stove and the oven is an absolute no. Okay. So you're gonna be back traveling. That should be fun. You'll get to go to all the different cities. Interesting. I haven't traveled if I could go on a vacation right now, like if I had to choose like today and like pack my bags and be on the plane tomorrow morning, honestly, I want to go back to Disney World. I haven't been to Disney World since I was about 4 or 5, so I always want to go back. I remember going to Disney World vividly. Back then, we stayed in like this giant castle with a whole bunch of other kids. We didn't have to wait in line for anything. It was like the best vacation ever, even though my brothers went on all the rides and I just wanted to sit and watch. I enjoyed the little spa and the whole castle living was wonderful. And we had this little car that took us around everywhere. Like, we had to call and say we want to go. And I've never tried so many different cuisines either. Because in like Disney World, they have like this thing called Around the World where you can try food from pretty much everywhere. And it was like the best thing ever. But the only thing about going to Disney World back then, I was terrified of everybody in the costume, even though I seen these people on TV, but they were in animation. But to see things in like real life costume was not my jam. And we all know they also took me to the circus when I was younger. That was a bad idea. I would go back to Disney World before you take me to the circus. Because my fear of clowns have never, ever, ever went away. Still don't like clowns. So the circus is a no. Disney World is a definitely yes. It's like one of the most magical places on the world. I would definitely go back. I also want to see Disneyland. I haven't seen that, but I want to. And matter of fact, I think when we get off of here, I'm gonna watch Aladdin. That is like my favorite Disney movie or something. I think I'm gonna watch Aladdin for the rest of the night because Aladdin is like. But I think I'm gonna watch the animated version. The live action version was great, but I kind of want to see the nostalgic animated version. I might do that unless I decide to record something before I go to sleep. Who knows? But if I do not end up recording, I will be watching Aladdin and eating watermelon or something. So, does anybody have content coming up that we all should know about? Like, is there content happening that I should know about or keep my eye out for? I did upload content today. Let's see. I'm uploading content on Friday as well, but that'll be on my gaming channel. Saturday, you'll get Curl's video on this channel. It will be a premiere. I don't know what time because I have to finish editing it. Because I'm kind of turning that into like something. So I don't know what time on Saturday it'll be out, but I'll let you know. So does anybody else have content coming up? Or Taylor, I do have a question. Are you going to be putting out any more content or something anytime soon? Because I do have something planned that I want you to be a part of. So if you're up for that, I hope you will do it. And let's see what I'm talking about. You'll find out about that. If not this week coming in, it'll be next week. And Eric, I want you to be a part of it too. If you choose to, you don't have to, and neither do you, Heather. It's up to you. But I'm just letting you know to be aware. There's something coming that I'm going to mention that I want you to do. So, let's see. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? Yeah. Positive message. So, if anybody has something they want to say, because I always close it out this way, I will drop the link. Oh, I clicked the. Oh, that is the wrong link. Hold on. Okay. This is the right one. I will drop the link. So if anybody has something that they want to come up and say, they are welcome. Or if they want to type in the chat about something that we all should know about, then if not, let me know. And we will close this out. And so, but I'll leave the link there for like 2 more minutes, and see in 2 minutes if somebody has something to say, whether it's in the chat or they click the link. If not, I will see you guys on Saturday, but we'll see in 2 minutes. Because I know there is some other content out there. I still have. Eric says I still have my tribute video for my friend. I'm also going to be doing a few Carpenter covers as well. So I can't wait to see your Carpenter's covers. I haven't done a cover in a very, very long time. It's either been a couple months or maybe a year or so since I've last done a cover on my channel, to the point to where I don't even know what the cover was. Oh, hold on, Eric, here I come.
Okay. Hey, Jasmine.
I thought you were scared to show your face. What happened?
No, I mean I've been really self-conscious about that. I'm not.
Yeah, that's why I'm like surprised to see your face since you were so subconscious.
Well, now that you see my face, did you see what I'm talking about?
Yes, but I don't think it looks bad. If you're asking my opinion, I don't.
Wow.
I don't.
If my no, if my aunt Janice was here, she would be telling me that I look like my grandfather, because my grandfather always had a beard and a mustache going on. He always kept himself well groomed.
Well, that's a good thing if you look like your grandfather.
Yeah, and I admired him. I admired him immensely. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I'm like, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to get this video done, and then the next thing you know, I'm like, there is no way in hell I'm going to be looking like this. Good God.
I don't think it would bother people if you look like that. I know it would bother you because how you feel about it, but I don't think the people that support you would care.
You know what? You're
What?
right. You're right.
I don't think they would care. Yeah, they'll probably be like, "Oh, he looks different. I'm not used to him looking like that." But I don't think they would say more than that.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just talking to my mom before I before I got on here, and she's
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll probably make it over on the weekend. I'm like, please be careful, because she's been dealing with a lot over the last week.
Is she okay?
Well, I'd like to say yeah, but she's dealing with some sciatic nerve issues that are causing her a great deal of pain.
Oh, sorry. That is painful.
No, yeah, that's she was
That is
like,
painful.
she goes, I said, well, if there's any consolation there, would it help to tell you that I've been there?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, I know.
Mm-hmm. That is like the worst.
Yeah. And she went to Bayview, was there for 5 hours. And
Were they able to help her at least since she was there so long?
my mother was fuming. Do you hear me?
Oh, I hear you. I'm listening.
When when mama's fuming, don't ain't no long-winded
Oh,
analysis. Ain't no ask that person. Just get her out of the hospital and get her out now before she
I
starts
think our
tearing.
parents are a lot alike, so I can kind of imagine how this would go.
Before just just note to self, if my mom's been sitting for 4 or 5 hours, get her out of the hospital so she won't tear a hole in your back pocket.
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours, that's a long time. Especially
Mm-mm.
to deal with sciatica. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because she was telling me what she's been going through the last week. And I mean, I tried calling her on. I want to say it was like Saturday. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, hey ma, and it was like she was having an out of body experience.
Oh wow.
I'm like, mom, can you hear me? And I mean, it was like she was just drugged. I'm like, okay, this is not happening. This is not.
Yeah, it was surprising people.
And you know,
Hopefully it goes away or subsides for the time being. 'Cause that's
yeah,
a lot. So, are you going to do your cover, or are you going to wait till your face is different and back to your normal face?
please. I mean, I'll be a lot happier once once I go back to my normal look, the clean shaven look, the onion look, as my one of my friends
You
was.
and your onion look.
Well, yeah, I mean, because my father, he would always ask me when my hair would start to grow wild like this. He was like, "So how you want me to cut your hair, Chief? Please, Dad, just peel me like an onion."
Well, either look is fine. 'Cause you look different, but you still look the same. Like, it's not like one of those drastic changes, like you're unrecognizable.
No, no, no. Now if all this hair covered my mouth and you could barely see my mouth, then I think we would have a bit of a problem.
Yeah, if it covered your mouth completely, that's different. But it doesn't completely cover your mouth. So,
Yeah, at least you know I'm still in here.
yeah, I can still see your facial features for crying out loud.
Okay, Jazz. Okay, you don't have
Like,
to
I
agree
still can
so
tell
hard.
it's you.
You-
And even if I didn't see you and you were talking to me like from behind me, I still would know it's you.
oh, so you
It's
see?
not like it changes your voice or something.
Yeah, I'm. That's one reason why I'm scared to have my tonsils out.
Do you need them out or something? Or were you supposed to
No,
get them out or something?
no, I'm just talking generally. Because if I had my tonsils out, I think it would drastically alter the sound of my singing.
It does. Well, I've never had my tonsils out, but it doesn't. I know people that have had their tonsils out. Sometimes it depends on the person, but
Mm,
it doesn't naturally drastically change their voice that much. But it can.
but yeah, like
Like if
when
you
I
ever seen that episode of Hey Arnold.
oh yeah, when Gerald had his tonsils out, yeah, I
Hmm.
remember that.
Yeah, but that rarely ever happens to people. That's like 1 in a million, 1 in a billion type of thing.
Yeah, or yeah. Well, do you notice anything about my face except for this matted mess?
No,
No, look close.
I still don't notice anything. You
I'm
unless you're talking about your glasses or something.
no. I'm smiling.
Oh, your shirt. What's on your shirt?
No, it's an athletic shirt, but I'm doing something that you say that I don't do very
Oh,
much.
smiling. Yeah.
I I do smile a lot more than you think. I just choose not to
Uh-huh.
show, unfortunately. Oh Lord, Jasmine, you're about to bust. What did I roll into? Doggone it.
You didn't roll into anything. I've come to learn that only certain things can make you smile.
If I'm if I'm around some good company, then yeah. If, if
In the
you ain't
time I've known you, I've come to learn that only certain things can make you smile. Which is okay, everybody has their preferences.
yeah, being around family makes me smile. Kind
Okay.
of if you consider the fact that they're not pulling me in 1,001 different bleeping directions, then yeah, we
Well,
cool.
Eat to Live Strong says smiling makes you feel good. So that should
Yeah.
tell you should smile more often.
Well, you let my cousin Samira tell me. She'll tell me in that distinct voice of hers. She said, "Cousin, you should smile forever." And I said, "Sam, if I could smile forever, my life would be perfect," which it is not.
Well, nobody's life is perfect. You make the best of every situation. There's no such thing as perfect. We're all imperfect people and we
Yeah.
all have imperfections. We
Yeah.
strive for perfect, but with the conscious reality that there's no such thing as perfect.
Or you tell somebody that, and they'll tell you, like the guy that I was living with, the older gentleman, he would always say, "I'm perfect. I'm perfect." I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me stop you there. Let me stop you right there. If you're so perfect, then what the heck are you doing in a place like this?
Well, everybody has a place, so perfect doesn't exist. Now, okay, Eat to Live Strong says, plus a smile could help someone you never know. That is true.
She's right.
That is definitely true.
Yeah,
Especially when it comes to the weather, because bad weather can definitely put you in a mood.
yeah. And I
Especially when we had a rainstorm the other night. It
oh god,
definitely put me in some sort of mood.
I tell you one thing. There's nothing worse. Well, if you're gonna go through a thunderstorm, it helps to have somebody there, and it helps to have you know like I said, my cousin lives down the street from where I am.
Hmm.
We're just a walk between each other. So she wanted to watch some television, and we heard that unfamiliar that ugh
Thunderstorm.
that clap of thunder. I'm like, and then she yells, oh, you get the idea."
Mm. I used to count how far the thunder was away. It used to be a distraction.
You
Because
still do that?
I don't like thunderstorms.
Who does? I
I
must
don't
say.
like fireworks either. So
Oh, I
the
can't. I
fact,
can't. I ain't doing no fireworks. That's dead. Now how my nephew can now how that little buggy you want to bring home can sleep through that, Jasmine. I still
I don't know, some people are naturally used to it. And the fact
no.
that where I live, we're not even, they started fireworks June the 1st.
What?
Mm-hmm. And they've been doing them every night since.
The 4th of July. Okay, I can stand them, but
No,
any.
no, 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 no. You will find me in my house with the lights on at some point, a movie and some headphones to block out the sounds. Yeah, and the radio, it got to block out the sound because it's ridiculous. You will not catch me at the harbor watching the fireworks show. Don't think so. That is not a way. Do not take me because I'm not going. Don't, don't, don't be like, please don't call me. It was like, oh, I want to surprise you and take you out. Okay. Where are we going? It's a surprise. You better not end up at the harbor because you and the rest of the people gonna be by yourself because I'm going to be taking a ride back to my house. So don't surprise me like
Oh,
that.
oh, oh, God.
I will be taking a ride back to my house. Eat to Live Strong says, I love them both.
Chad, you're
The storm,
serious. You are, and you are,
Mm.
and
I'm glad the thunderstorms help somebody. They don't help me relax.
that. No, I can't relax because every little boom, man, it scares the crap out of me. It scares. If I can be a little more frank, it scares the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't do that. And one is just so loud. To me, if I go to sleep, it's fine. It won't put me to sleep. It's fine. But to be awake when it's
So
happening,
wait. Hold. That actually puts you to sleep.
yeah, like if it's raining, it will knock me out and I won't know. But if it rains too hard, we can literally hear the tapping of the rain on the window.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm
once
not.
it gets over, like to where you can hear it on the window,
Mm,
most likely it'll probably wake me up if I don't already have like music on. Cause I go to sleep to music. Somebody on the radio, mostly my
yeah.
worship songs on the radio. But
I don't you. I don't usually sleep with the radio on, but the thing is, I remember one particular instance where I had a Selena CD in my CD player,
uh huh.
and it was one song that I just kept listening to, and
What is
yet,
that? Cause Selena has like a bunch of songs.
well, she's known for well, of course she's known for her Spanish work. Everybody knows that,
Mm-hmm.
but this one I think would have made her a bigger star if she was still here dreaming of you.
That's a good. Dreaming of You is a good Selena song.
That's a beautiful song. I went. I actually had it planned, forgot that it was planned, and then when I woke up the next morning,
Mm-hmm. If I Could Fall in Love is my favorite Selena song.
I like that. I like the beat to "I Could Fall in Love."
Yeah, it's my favorite Selena song.
I like that one too. I mean,
Now, Coma Floor is my favorite to dance to, of course.
yeah, I love that too. And I'm like, my mom's like, "Damn, how did you learn that so fast?" I said,
I think everybody learned a little bit of Spanish from Selena.
and I
Uh,
said, she goes, ah, oh, I see. E. Tillip Strong says it's God's work, so I let him do what he wants to do.
that is true. Mine too, her crossover. Yeah, I definitely understand that's her crossover.
Yeah, I mean, because funny story. When I when I was living with my mom, when we moved out here in 2006, my
Now, now they back with the motorcycles. Can they stop? Like the motorcycles, really? I understand.
um
But
yeah,
they're loud.
my my brother had a friend who lived not too far away from us,
hmm
and she said, "Eric, could you sing Como la Flor for us?" And I would, and I'm like, "Really?
Have you ever said no when somebody asked you to sing?
No, no, because that's what I do. That's what I love to do. I've always
Really,
loved to
you've
do.
never said no? No?
If the material ain't right, if I can't relate to it, then it's not happening.
No. If they told you you could sing any song you want, would you say yes all the time?
If I had complete control over that, then the answer would be yes. But if you're gonna tell me I gotta do something like a rap song or something that is completely out of my element, no.
I don't. I don't. I don't say yes every time somebody asks me to sing.
But if it's appropriate enough, then yeah. But
I don't
I
say
re-
yes every time. You're
I
good because I don't.
I really can't stand when somebody asks me just the most asinine questions about my ability. Because, in the days leading up to my great grandmother's funeral, I get a call from my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
I'm
Hey,
here.
Aaron. Hey, Ma. You feel like singing for your grandmother? And my face, you should have just seen the look in my eyes or in my face. And
You automatically said yes. You didn't
I'm
even
like,
have to think
I'm,
twice about it.
Ma, you didn't even have to ask me but once. That was the way she would have wanted it. So yeah. She was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, what particular song do you have in mind? So I thought about it.
Let's see. I used to go into Blockbuster Music Store and have them play different songs, and I would sing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember from like the age of 3 to about 8. Every time somebody would ask me to sing, I would have to, but it was worth it. And then after that, I was like, "Oh, I'm not singing every time somebody asks."
Yeah.
Mm. But I got paid a lot of money though.
Well, that was worth it. No,
Uh-huh.
no wonder you said it was worth it.
Uh-huh. My cousin would come into town and he lived like hours away. And he would do that. I got asked to sing at a wedding, so I began. So it began a wedding singer.
She began as a wedding. Okay. Well, people sing it.
I
Would
had
you
asked
say?
to sing at a wedding before, but the wedding never happened, so I never sang. But I did get asked to sing.
I wanted to do a song for my brother and my sister-in-law, but I was just too emotionally shaken up to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even remember the song I got asked to sing at a wedding. I used to do karaoke all the time. That used to be the theme of the Christmas party. They always had a karaoke machine at the Christmas party.
Well, speaking of Christmas songs, one of my favorites. This is a recent favorite, but it's been out for a while. It's been out since the '70s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's called "Merry Christmas, Darling."
I know what that is. Yeah.
I always think of my girlfriend because usually she spends the we're spending Christmas with our she spends Christmas with her father, and I'm usually with my
Oh,
folks. So yeah,
that's cute.
yeah. I mean,
That's very
but
cute.
the only thing I'm gonna miss about being in that hellhole of an agency that I'm with are the staff that I used to work with and her. Oh,
That is my mother's song.
hello.
That is
Oh
my
no.
mother's song. If
Oh
you
no.
ask her,
Oh no. Oh no. You really that that's a darn good one right there.
Eric, if you don't know, Eat to Live Strong, she loves her 80s music if you don't know.
80. Okay. All right.
Now, if you ask her something about today or anything in 2000, she
No,
probably
you.
won't be able to tell you.
Oh, thanks for the heads up.
Because I remember when I used to have this music game on my channel.
Hmm.
And she was like, I don't know, where's the 80s songs?
I'm into like 80s R&B and all of that. I mean, that's my
Y'all are a perfect match. Y'all are the perfect match on the music conversation.
and the thing is, a lot of my favorite songs from Phyllis Hyman came out in that decade.
Mm-hmm.
Cause her most well-known song, I think, came out in August of '86. It's you've probably seen it on my channel. It's called Old Friend.
Yeah, I've seen that cover that you did to that.
Yeah, Old Friend. Living All Alone. I'm a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a tearjerker of a song that I can't listen to without tearing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wedding song, ironically enough.
A wedding song.
Yeah, it's called Congratulations.
Ah, that's a good song though.
Yeah, if you can keep your emotions at bay when you hear a certain part of it.
Well, music is meant to make you feel something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, we have
But I mean,
Unforgettable, Nat King
oh,
Cole
hello.
was a duo. I did it at a work talent show. Yes, that
Um,
does
I,
seem like a. I know a lot of people that sing Unforgettable at some sort of
I
talent
got the
show production.
no. I got to have the right kind of partner for that. Because the last time I did that with somebody, Jasmine, that was a bleeping train wreck.
Did y'all wait a minute? Did y'all just decide to sing the song,
She
or
well
or
then
did you actually put some practice and some time into getting the song
well
correctly?
we had some practice, but when it was showtime, all I gotta say is "old grandma," and that's all you need to know.
Okay.
Because I mean, the music's up so loud I can barely hear myself. And what makes it even worse is my duet partner. You couldn't hear her at all.
Well, then that's not a duet. That sounds more like a solo.
I'm like, and I was actually dating this chick. I'm like, okay, we got it, and you're dealing with one mic and all this. I'm like,
I don't know. That's a lot of work.
You think?
Oh, I know. It's not that I think. It's I
I,
know.
I said, And looking back when I'm like, if I've never, I've never had a botchy performance, but if this was one of the few that I have had, this would make the top of the list.
Well, I remember when I went to Delray.
Mhm.
Graduations at Delray was always a performance. It was never like a
Sure,
actual
it,
graduation.
it wasn't always straight away. I know, I've been there.
We did the play called The Rainbow Fish.
The rainbow fish.
Yes,
Hmm. Okay,
it was a it was a movie. It's a wonderful movie,
it is.
but I didn't get the part I wanted
Mm-hmm.
because the rainbow fish was the star. Me, I did not want to be the star. I
Okay.
wanted to be one of the other little fish in the play, but no. When they hand out assignments, who becomes the rainbow fish?
You.
Uh huh. And I'm like, why?
Mm.
Because I got
Well.
the part that somebody else wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh goodness, this is gonna be a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be the star.
You never are trying to be the star of something.
No, I try not to be. I
And
try not to be.
I never tried to be the star of anything, but I'm always the guy who gives the performance that everybody always tries to follow.
That's because you're talented. I try to be in the background and lend my talents to the background. I try to stay in the background and let other people shine.
I was actually doing karaoke one day, and I was doing I'll Never Love This Way Again. It was a live performance. It was from '95, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always picturing the ending, and I'm like, when I got to the end of the song, I heard a guy who I thought to be a friend of mine at that time. Because after I went into the whole thing, I just went, hold on. And then all I can hear in the background is my friend going, damn,
I can imagine.
this is a guy saying damn when he hears me
They
singing.
surprise you. Celine, this song Because I Love You to me and
Because
my.
you love me.
Yeah, I love that song.
Oh, yeah, I do too. I do
Yes.
too. But I mean, I liked
Celine,
her. I liked
I
her
want to meet
version.
her in person. I
You
really
do?
do. Yes.
I like her.
I want to meet her in person.
Her All the Way album. I really love. That came out in '99. It's called All the Way: A Decade of Song.
Yeah, I know the album.
And I tell you,
I
there
was
was
really young when that album
there
came
was
out.
the one song that I hated, and please do
How
not
can
kill
you
me.
hate a Celine Dion song?
Whoa. Hold the phone, hold the phone, hold the phone.
Okay, what's the song?
It's easy to hate it when your ex at the time plays it over and over and over again, and it's My Heart Will Go On from the Titanic.
Really?
Nah, Jazz, for play.
How? That is not a song you can hate. It's not a song you can hate.
Speak for yourself.
Now,
But
I might won't sit through the whole Titanic movie because it's a very emotional movie, but that song fits perfectly in the scene, and that when you watch the scene, you can't help it. But
yeah, but I mean, I can listen to it now
thank
because
you.
I ain't with it no more. So it's cool.
You have to watch the scene and listen to the song, and then watch how it. It's a very cinematic moment. A very
But
cinematography moment.
I never thought I would hear two different singers from two different eras until I heard Frank and Celine posthumously team up for this, and I'm like, hmm, how? Because I know her that album came out in '99, and Frank Sinatra had passed away in May of '98.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, how could that be?
Well, the unexpected. Most artists have like a whole catalog of unreleased songs, and then they just wait and wait on it. But
Yeah,
there's a whole list of uncategorized, unput out songs. There's
yeah, and
definitely them.
I, I found that out long after Phyllis had passed. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I said, and then I wanted to get more and more into her stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I have one of her posthumous albums. Um, it came out July 28th, 1998, and it's called Forever With You. And I'm like, so I
You
burned
really
it.
are going back in time.
I'm like, I wonder what this sounds like. And it didn't have the classics that I'm used to hearing, like You Know How to Love Me, or Old Friend, or any of the songs that I know her for. And I'm like, well, this might take some getting used to,
I understand.
but it's like once I listen to it from front to back, I'm like, this is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite songs off that album is called "Set a Little Trap."
I think I do know that song. I'm not sure, but I think I do.
Wow, somebody must have played it, or you must have heard it somewhere, because it was released long before you and I
My
got
yeah,
it.
my family is very musically inclined. I
Yeah,
grew up with a lot of Luther, a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire,
ah,
a lot of Stacey Lattisaw. Actually, one of Stacey Lattisaw's songs was the first I ever sang in my whole entire life.
and that was
Let Me Be Your Angel. I was
oh,
singing that song. I knew that song back and forwards by the time I was 4. And every time somebody would see me, they would ask me to sing that song.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah, I sang that song backwards and forwards.
I love when I'm performing a certain song, and the crowd really into it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've got somebody who's going sing that song. Like,
That's that's like my nephew. He does that, especially when I'm in like a play with a bunch of people. He makes it known he was an audience. I remember it was the first time he ever saw me like perform like with a bunch of people.
mm,
He came. Now he's watching the whole thing, but I think this was the one show where I had a solo in it.
uh-huh.
So I'm singing the song, and all you hear from like the audience is like, "You better sing that song," and I'm like, "Who the heck is that?"
Shorty was feeling it.
So then all of a sudden, you see this little boy stand up, talk about sing the song, and then start telling everybody, that's my aunt, and she can sing that song. She gonna sing that song. And I'm on. Everybody in the audience is laughing, but I'm trying my hardest laugh,
Not to
not to laugh at him.
not to break.
No, and my mother and I don't know who was with my mother, but whoever was with my mother was trying to get him to sit down, and he was like, "No, that's my aunt, and she gonna sing that song. She sang that song. She sang that song. Sing the song." And I'm like, oh
She,
my.
oh my
And I'm
god.
like, okay, if I start laughing, this whole show's gonna go down because
This
ain't nobody gonna know where we stopped.
this is if I start laughing, this show's going to hell in a handbasket.
It sure is. Cause I'm like, nope, nope,
But
nope.
I mean, I remember this was, oh my gosh.
That was your phone.
Yeah, this was in what, 2012?
Mm-hmm.
And I did I did I'll Be Seeing You by Lady Diana. I'm like, I got to the second verse, and it I went, I'll be seeing you.
I can imagine you do.
And then my aunt Robin, I just hit sing that song, nephew, sing that song.
I told you, everybody got one in the family. Everybody got one in the family. It's the thing.
Cause
People don't really think it's a thing, but it's a thing.
oh yes, yeah, and they oh when they're really feeling it, you will know. And here
Mm-hmm.
But I think I might want to try Solitude again because I mean I'm so
I thought you were gonna try Solitude again.
I am, but I'm just gonna make sure of one little blessed thing before I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your dog on keep your dog on share off
Yep.
because the last thing I want to hear is in my solid. Oh shit!
Yep. And that's how it goes.
And I was so mad about that I just completely aborted the whole thing
Mm-hmm.
because creatively
Like I'll
you're
at least try to record something twice, but if it doesn't work on the second time, then I just start over the next day. But I
right.
at least try to record it twice if I mess up or something.
That in the horn video I did on live, I knew I was gonna that was gonna garner a response from you, considering how much respect you have for her.
You were more worried about me than you performing.
No, I mean I said I know Jasmine will say something about this.
Of course.
And you
Tina
said
Horn was a very classy woman.
yes indeed.
If anybody's wondering what I'm doing while he's talking, I'm trying to get most of this makeup off so when we get off of here, all I gotta do is wash my face and it'll be good to go because this is a lot of work. Because last night, y'all will probably see, it took me like 3 tries to get this makeup off.
Mm.
Y'all will see it in the vlog coming Monday next week.
And I also have a I know this is a ways off, but I have a every year I perform a certain song for someone, and every time she sees me doing a video for her, like last year for her birthday, she recorded a response to it, and she said, "Thank you, Mr. Eric, for all the videos you do on my birthday." And I totally did not expect it.
That must be one of your number one fans if they
One of
responded.
one of my biggest, because I think my mom's my biggest fan, because when I did I'm Glad There Is You by Lena Horne for my aunt, who happens to have who my mom happens to be named after. Interesting.
That's, that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, because my mom and my aunt share the same name.
Yeah.
Because I mean, my mom was like, because I'm performing the song and I'm seeing comments pop up, and I hear my mom go, "Yes, Eric, yes," with a bunch of hearts and such.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Are you in the
well,
dark or something?
it's getting darker as time
I
goes
saw
on.
something glowing and I'm like, are you in the dark or what is that?
Yeah, that's just nightfall starting,
Oh.
and I don't have but one light in here,
It's
and that's
fine. But at 1 minute it looks one color. To me it looked like it was changing colors. That's why I'm like, is it
nah,
purple
nah.
or
But
something?
I mean, leave it to a quote unquote friend to do from try to convince me to do a song called "The Player's Prayer." What the? And I'm like,
No.
no, mm-mm, uh-uh.
No. I listened, I listened to that song and I was like, no. I
But
don't
he,
imagine you singing that. Now,
no,
if you did, I would listen to it because you decided to cover it. But I'm like,
I'm not doing it.
really?
I ain't doing it. But he said, well, if you don't like that, then I've got this for you. And this has a very loud beginning. And this is literally, I'm hearing
Who
this loud,
sings the song?
Monica.
Mm, Monica has like a laundry list of songs.
Yeah, this is 2010 we're going into.
That's when her Still Standing album came out.
You got it.
So most people like Love All Over Me.
There you go.
Uh-huh. But
Cause I said I ain't doing no player's prayer. What you expect me to dress up in a pimp suit and sit there pouring my heart out to some chick? No thanks.
okay, if you dressed up like that and sang that song and then posted it, there would not be enough laughing, crying emojis
for
in the
you to
world for me to
for
put.
you to use.
Nope, there would not be enough.
I gotta
Mm-mm.
I
There
gotta
would
you
not be
know
enough laughing, crying emojis.
I know you
That's
probably
third.
like okay Eric, you know we're cool, but what
I would
emoji?
probably have to comment on the video, put as many laughing, crying emojis, then actually text you by phone to put more laughing, crying emojis to add up to as many laughing, crying emojis that I would have if you dressed up like that and sang that song.
No,
I'm just saying.
I couldn't. But he put me onto a couple of wonderful songs that I still listen to now.
Yes.
Love
But Monica, yes.
Love All Over Me was one of them.
But I think if I was going to do a Monica song, I would do Angel of Mine or For You I Will.
Well, you probably well he my former friend I should say he actually put me onto a song by Sam Smith, and I'm like, wow, this is I'm like this is awesome.
Okay, Sam Smith has a lot of wonderful songs. Stay With Me is wonderful. The Stay
I
With Me one is wonderful with Mary J. Blige.
well,
Then we have Lay Me Down, which is wonderful.
mhm. But the one
Mm.
I'm talking about is Latch, the acoustic version.
Yes, I like the up-tempo version, but Latch is good too.
I don't. I can't do it. I can't do it.
What is wrong with the What is wrong with the upbeat version? Please tell me.
No, I don't mind it, but that baby like thing there, it just doesn't fit. Well, not for me.
So if you don't like the upbeat version of Latch, do you have a problem with the song "A Thousand Miles" by Vanessa Carlton too?
No, no,
But
no.
that has like the same sound. Dun 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 dun. Like they have like the same, well, not the same repeat pattern, but that song has a repeat in it, and Latch has a repeat in it.
Well, I like the acoustic version because it suits me.
So if you didn't have the sing, if you weren't considering singing the song, would you like the up tempo version?
I'd like to listen to it, but I wouldn't want to perform it.
No, that's my question. Would you listen to the up tempo
Yeah,
version if
I've
you weren't
listened.
considering singing it?
I've listened to it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, yeah, that's okay, but the acoustic version is it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But Leave Your Lover, I wasn't quite expecting that.
Then he has, yeah, Sam Smith has a collection. I also like Dancing with a Stranger.
Yeah, I like that too. Look what you made me do. I'm with somebody new. Ooh, baby, baby, I'm dancing with
That's
a
the
stranger.
that's the exact song. And then the other song, I like the song, but the video reminds me of a movie.
What is it?
Um, You Say I'm Crazy.
Oh, I'm not the only one. You
Yeah.
say I'm crazy
Yep. That's
because you
like if
don't
you
think
watch
I
the video, it's like
know
you're
what
watching a movie.
you've done. Oh yeah, it trips me out when he says, "And when you call me baby, I know I'm not the only one."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
But that is
whoa.
like a movie. That's just like the Adele song "Hello." Watching that video is like watching a movie.
Yeah, hello is that explode.
Yeah, and she didn't even expect it to. And she's coming out with a new album soon, so I can't wait
I
to see
heard about
what
that. I heard about that.
I can't wait to see what the new Adele sounds like because I'm pretty sure what she's done in the past is amazing. Her
If
voice is
if her
just amazing.
if her if her past is anything like that, then what's something?
Mhm.
I mean, well, the first song I heard, I think, was "Someone Like You," and then "Rolling in the Deep" would come after that, and of course,
Mhm.
like what you just touched on was "Hello,"
Um.
and I'm like, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, and she has another one. It's been in a lot of TV shows.
What is it?
I'm trying to think of the name of the song. Now I have to look it up. Because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I have to look it up now. But yeah, it's definitely. If you've ever seen the TV show Bones, which is like one of my favorites, it's been
I've
in
seen
there.
it, but I don't. I haven't watched it
And I sing
religiously.
this song around my house all the time, and I can't think of the name of it.
Mhm.
But when I
Well,
see it, I'll know it.
I'll tell you
That's,
one. I can't tell you when I perform like certain songs. It doesn't have to be for a talent show. It's just me just doing it.
yep. It's called "Make You Feel My Love."
Ah,
Yeah,
oh,
it's an amazing song, and she has like a duet partner in it, but it doesn't ever say who it is. But it's a nice song. Yeah,
I
as I'm
mean,
watching the clock, we've almost made it to the 3 hour mark, which I did not think we would make it that far.
is there a time limit for videos like this, or do you usually put a time limit on videos like this?
No, there's usually not a time limit. Well, in StreamYard, they give you 20 hours a month to use
Hmm.
when you don't pay for it. But usually, when I go live, I at least try to stay live for 2 hours. I try to, but usually, I'm usually tired when it gets to about an hour and 30 minutes.
So once the hour and a half mark hits, you're pretty pooped.
I'm like, Then when, like, yeah, usually when it hits an hour and 30 minutes,
Mm.
hello, honey.
Mm, mm, mm,
They're
mm.
agreeing with you.
What was that?
They agree that they heard the song too many times.
What song was that? Oh, my heart will go on.
hmm Yep. So there's usually not a time limit, but I try to make it at least an hour and a half because I know people are busy and people pop in and out all the time.
Yeah, and
And then,
I didn't really I didn't really have much of an appreciation for Frank Sinatra's music until I actually heard him. I'm like, whoa,
but
okay, okay.
how did you not have an appreciation for Frank Sinatra?
Well, excuse me.
He's like Frank Sinatra is like the ultimate,
I know the ultimate crime.
ultimate.
I got it. I got it.
Like,
But hold it. Before you bust my chops any further, Miss
oh,
East.
I'm not. Oh, I'm not.
Before, well, I can tell you. I was like, okay. And I have a CD that has him and a lot of other singers of his era. And I'm like, okay. And he's talking about he has a song called Chicago, and I'm like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, this sounds hip. So I listened to it again, and I'm like, okay. Oh, so no wonder. I said, no wonder all the girls fell in love with him.
Yeah, but Frank Sinatra is like the ultimate.
Yeah, and another song I like by him is it's called Three Coins and a Fountain.
Mm-hmm.
That's a movie. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah. And I said, oh, all right. But the way the way my favorite Frank Sinatra song is probably the one that kind of best describes me.
That's interesting. Wow, 20 more properties to lock down, but I've heard
That's one of
on
my
top
favorite.
do,
Huey
do.
Lewis and Gwyneth Paltrow cruising. Smokey Robinson. Yeah,
Those
I
are
like
all
that.
good. All
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I do love Smokey Robinson. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
I know
He has
his
like one of the most unique voices on the planet ever.
and at 81 he's still
He
going
still
strong.
sounds like himself. Like him and Lionel Richie.
Never age. Seems like their voices never age.
Yeah, they still sound the exact same. And now that Lionel Richie is on American Idol, I was kind of disappointed in American Idol this year.
Why?
Because when it came down to the final three, I was happy with two of them. Either one of them could have won. But Willie Spencer
Why? What's
should have
wrong?
won.
Why
Should
do
have
you
won.
think? Why do you think that?
I am going to send you. I'm going to send it to your phone. You have to. If I'm pretty sure if you haven't seen the movie Selma, you've heard the song "Glory."
Yeah.
Of course, he sang. Well, he sang a lot of amazing songs on American Idol, but he sang "Glory." He should have won the competition just for singing "Glory."
So your jaw was on the floor when you heard it. I'm presuming.
Mm-hmm. And then there was this girl named I can't remember who was else in the finals, but she sang Whitney Houston. She deserved to be in the finals. Her or Willie Spencer could have won.
Hmm.
But he sang Glory. He should have won.
Did you see? Well, I know I'm not. I know we joked about me doing a player's prayer, and
You are not singing that song. I'm telling
what
you, if you sing that song, I'm gonna put a whole lot of crying laughing emoji.
you well, Jazz, you ain't got to worry about it, cause my vocal cords are not touching that. No, give me something I'm familiar with. Like I told you, I wanted to do Top of the World, and yeah, but I think I've got the lyrics down. But it's like when you get toward the end, I always kind of get hung up on that because I think you know the part I'm actually referring to.
Yeah. But that's just like
No, that's like you putting on a do rag rapping. I just can't see that.
I don't know enough broken English for that. I'm sorry, I don't. I still have to look up. Still have to look up words. I still have to look up words like when people are saying phrases. I don't even know what half of the new phrases mean. So I'm trying to still me rapping. I will probably be speaking over my own self, speaking over my tongue. Now, I don't imagine me doing that. Now, could it possibly happen? Possibility. Because I'm okay with experimenting in musical styles. But it would have to be something that I understand what the person is saying. Like, I would have to hear it clearly first, then look up the lyrics, and then try to match the lyrics to the correct tempo. It would take a lot of effort for me to do that.
No,
But
I'm not.
I'm okay with experimentation. So it could possibly happen, but it would have to be something I understand very clearly. But I don't understand a lot of rap.
Not all this mumble rapping you're hearing now.
Nope. So if there was maybe if it was like the gospel rapper named Lecrae, I understand what he's saying clearly. So maybe if it was one of his songs or a song that he was featured on,
If you were doing that, that wouldn't surprise me. But
that I probably could do.
That I
But
wouldn't.
if we're talking about a Lil Wayne song, I wouldn't be able to tell you not a word.
Oh no. I don't see why girls find him attractive because he looks like he's just been bashed in the face with a blackjack.
Wow. But yeah, me rapping would take a lot of work. Now, have I sang with somebody that raps? Yeah. I've done a duet style like that. But me rapping personally?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I mean,
that's like me doing opera. If I could learn Latin, I probably could do it.
No. If I could learn Latin or Italian, I would give it a shot. But I don't know a lick of either one, so that's out of the question.
Yeah, but I love listening to opera. I know it's not everybody's thing.
No, I mean, I can do country, but let me tell you, where I was living before, one of my roommates from Hades.
I can't with you, but go ahead.
All this fool knew was Patsy Cline. If it wasn't crazy, it was I Fall to Pieces. Both songs I happen to love, by the way. But this fool, all I hear is She's Got You over and over again, and he's trying to sing. Now, picture a howling dog. And Jasmine, he drove me crazy with this until I got to the part where she went, I've got your memory, or has it got me? I really don't know, but I know it won't let me be. But I said, I really don't know, but I know. Will you shut the hell up?
I can imagine you doing that. I can imagine, like, just your personality when something bothers you. Yeah. That I can imagine.
You said, you said, oh, wow. You always say I have a way with saying things, but because sometimes it's like you could start laughing at me and I go, what's so funny? And then you go, It's not what you say. It's the
That's how
way
you
you
say it.
said it. I mean, I'm glad if I'm going to be listening to Patsy Cline, I can listen to her in peace.
Yeah. Nobody really listens to her much anymore. But yeah.
But I mean, oh man, that drove me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I
It would
mean,
drive me crazy.
I mean, how you're trying to sing over a Patsy Cline record, and you got a voice that sounds like Julia Child to boot. Uh What? What?
Julia Child was known for her food.
I know.
Her food. We
I
gonna leave
got
her. We gonna leave her in the kitchen room.
it.
On. We gonna leave Julia Child in the kitchen room, or we gonna leave her in her movie,
Mm,
Julia versus Julie.
yeah, Julia.
We gonna leave her in the food rooms.
I
But
mean, if it's like vocal jazz or something, okay, I can do that. But I'm not about to do something that I'm going to regret later.
yeah, but
And I'm like, I'm not doing.
what? I did not realize it was 9 o'clock or
It's
past
at
9.
it's
I did
after
not
9.
realize that.
It's after 9.
I did not realize it was after 9.
It's after.
I see that now that I'm looking down at the clock.
Well, it's easy for you to get lost in the art of conversation.
Yes, it is very easy to get lost in the conversation.
I
That
mean,
means I need to get the rest of this makeup off my face
oh shoot,
and go find some sort of snack. Um,
you craving any more ice cream?
no, I only
Are
get
you,
ice cream once in a while. I don't get
are
it two
you,
days in a row.
are you oh, see, you already had your ice cream fix.
And I probably won't get ice cream unless it's dairy free ice cream for like at least the next 3 months. Or something like that. Unless it's dairy free ice cream, then it doesn't matter. But
Mm,
since it's summertime, you got to be the first one at the market for the dairy free ice cream, or you
mm.
gonna be waiting until they
I can t-
restock the shelves.
I can tell you right now, when it comes to like ice cream and stuff, for a while I stayed away from.
hmm I stay away from ice cream mostly. Except for yesterday. My ice cream was good, and plus I got my chocolate chip 50, and I don't even like chocolate like that, but ice cream and chocolate
That's
chip 50 was in the
that.
moment.
That's why I found it really unusual for you to even mention ice cream.
I know, but I
I'm
have
like,
my moments
I'm
where I
like,
want to eat.
I'm like,
But
I'm
I
like,
probably go find. Well, I had watermelon earlier, and I don't really want any more watermelon.
oh, that's my mom's favorite right there.
Yeah, we have like a whole giant watermelon in my house right now. But you have to put salt on the watermelon.
Uh,
You
uh, uh,
do.
uh, uh. What that floats your boat, but it doesn't
Yes,
float
it does.
mine.
It floats mine just fine. Watermelon and salt. So I
That's like
had that earlier, so I probably won't eat that now. But we do have like some kind of either pineapples or peaches, whatever, nectarine or something. Whatever I find in the moment is what I'll grab.
at the okay. Now I
Then
don't
I'll
mind.
probably turn on Aladdin or something.
I
Or
don't
I'll
mind.
let you watch the Bachelorette.
I don't mind either one of those fruits, but I do not. I cannot. And don't put this crap in front of me. Cantaloupe, I don't do. Honeydew melon, forget it.
I don't do. I rarely do ever either one of those, but unless we're talking about fruit salad, they just end up in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, That's what my plan is. I
Why?
haven't decided am I going to turn on Aladdin or The Bachelorette. Probably The
Why?
Bachelorette.
Why is it that when I talk to you and I'm making you laugh and you go, I can't with you, I can't with you?
Because you make me laugh all the time.
Well, that's my thing. That's one of my coping mechanisms.
I know, but you make me laugh all the time. That's why I say that.
And I know when I really got you, you
Yeah.
snicker rather loudly
Yes, that is true.
because I said something kind of off the wall. You weren't expecting it, and then all
Now,
of a sudden,
certain things I can anticipate what you're going to say. Certain things I cannot. But as we are talking, I am putting this makeup away because eventually I'll have to do that. So I might as well do that while we finish talking.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So you keep all your makeup and stuff in that bag there.
Most of it, if it's
Mm.
not in the makeup container,
Mm-hmm.
but like brushes and stuff and things that can lay flat, I just put in here. Because I'm always testing new stuff, so I have like the new stuff that I haven't filmed with
Yeah,
in
I
one bag, and the stuff that I've already filmed with, I have in another bag. And then when it comes to like essential oils, I have a whole container.
mm. Oh
So this
shoot.
stuff I mostly already filmed with. And the new BoxyCharm hasn't come yet. Hopefully
Yeah,
it'll be here in a few
I
days.
have to I gotta make sure that I make arrangements to go to my nephew's party.
When is your nephew's party?
The 27th.
Oh, well, you have about a couple of days to do that. Like, are
Yeah,
you going to use mobility for that, or are you going to?
I'm gonna use the transportation that's here
That's
because
right. You do
I
have to. I always forget that you have transportation where you live.
mhm.
I always forget about that. Mm-hmm.
Well, terrible twos. Have mercy. I'm still tripping off of you when I showed you those pictures of him.
Mm-hmm. So is your nephew turning like 1 or 2 or something?
Terrible twos.
Ooh, yeah. Y'all gonna have something on your hands?
We already do
Well, I feel for y'all.
because he all I don't know why,
I
but
feel for all of you.
because I was talking to my dad and he said, "E, I got to tell you that nephew of yours is a piece of work." I said, "So I've
Mm-hmm.
heard."
Yeah, when they hit like 18 months, sometimes it's 16 months. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you put him you put him in a place where there's nothing but water. Getting him in ain't the problem. Getting him out, getting him out. Oh boy, that's like that's you want to do a lot of arm twisting. But
Mm-hmm.
if I am going to his birthday party, which is pretty likely, he's just gonna
Mm-hmm.
want to touch my. He's probably just gonna want to touch my chin because
That's true.
they because little ones and electric chairs they're very intrigued by that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's on my lap,
Yeah.
because
We're still working on my power chair.
oh jeez.
Yeah. They finally can put in the paperwork this month, so we're working on that.
So you getting
So
I'm
hopefully within the next couple of weeks we can get somebody out here so I can get measured for the chair and then
measured. And, oh yeah.
Mhm.
I thought I was getting another chair or getting fitted for another chair or being eligible for one in September, but unfortunately, thanks to Obamacare, that has stopped.
Is your chair 5 years old yet?
It'll be 5 years old on the 29th of September.
Well, then by then you'll be eligible for a new chair.
That's what I thought, but that's not the case.
Well, then you have to look into like Medicare and all that.
Really?
hmm You'll have to look into Medicare and medical assistance for that.
Oh,
Okay. Did I miss anything? No.
did you drop something?
No, I was moving the box to make sure I got all the makeup and put it in the bag.
Mm. What I was asking you, you don't wear makeup when you're out all that often, do you?
Depends on the day and what I'm
Mm.
trying to do.
And the
If I know
occasion?
I'm going to be gone all day,
Mm-hmm.
then yes. If I'm only going to be gone for 5 to 10, 15 minutes, then no.
And well, I I kind of felt for my cousin Tiana when my dad got married. I had to do something, but when I did what I had to do, I wasn't expecting I was
Mm-hmm.
not expecting a lot this reaction. All I had to do was use my walker, come down the aisle with one of my aunts, and then I go down, everybody's standing, and my poor cousin is at the top of the ramp crying her eyes on and running out because she's crying so hard her makeup's starting to run.
Don't you know you did something significant to a whole lot of people?
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
That's significant. People gonna cry. People gonna give standing ovations. People gonna do that.
Yeah, and my my father was like, as
That's
I'm
why
going
at weddings and certain things where I know there's a possibility to cry, there has to be some kind of waterproof makeup involved.
for you because unless that's the case, unless that's not the case, forget it.
And it's good old fashioned makeup, but we gonna have to do waterproof if y'all gonna be making me cry and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
And weddings and things like that is definitely waterproof makeup.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. But I'm gonna get out of here so I can get the rest of this off. I got most of it off, but I need to cleanse, get the rest of this off,
Okay.
and go find a piece of fruit or something. Most likely not watermelon, but look, we have a whole watermelon and it's delicious. But I'm kind of watermelon out for the day.
Jasmine, I ain't messing with you.
Well,
You
if
talk
y'all
what you.
want to know what I have coming up in the YouTube universe,
Excuse me.
here's how this is gonna go. Friday, well, today there was a video on my gaming channel. Friday, there will be another video on my gaming channel. There will be no content for me posted anywhere tomorrow, even though it was supposed to. But I messed up my own schedule because there was supposed to be a video today. But since I redid this whole live thing, I swapped the video for the live. So that curly hair routine that I posted about previously will be coming on Saturday instead. Y'all will get a video, but it won't be on this channel on Sunday. It'll be on my gaming channel. And then we'll talk about next week. Next week. I have no idea what the content will be at the moment. I'm usually ahead on my content, but not right now. Because I'm taking the weekend off because I've already got the weekend to myself. Even though y'all getting content is already recorded and ready to go. But I will be relaxing with a movie this weekend. Eric, do you have content coming for the people to see? You do? Are you unmuted?
I'm here.
Do you have content that the people should know about?
Well, I have a tribute dedicated to my friend Christina that I'll be putting out on the 29th, which would have been her 42nd birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
I'm
like
also
2 weeks away.
and I'm going to be doing a couple of songs by the Carpenters for those of you who are familiar or unfamiliar with them.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
And I think I will be performing a Nat King Cole song called Smile, and I know you're familiar with that, Jasmine.
Yes, I've performed that song in many immersive ways by now.
Come again?
I've performed that song in so many ways at this point.
Yeah.
The original version, then a version where somebody changed the words to fit somebody else. Then there was another version that we did to fit somebody else's personality. I sang that song in like 3 different versions. It's fun, but it's a very wonderful song.
It's a beautiful song. But this, yeah, well, somebody that we both know actually requested
Requested
that.
it.
Yeah.
So then that means you definitely have to do that song.
Sure. I just hope this person is actually ready for it.
I think they will be. It'll probably be a surprise, but a surprise in a good way.
It'll be a tearjerker if I know this person, and I know this person well.
Of course. Of course.
Hey, I mean, you just touched on doing something significant, and you know, whenever I do something significant, it's usually a lot of loud applause
Of
and some
course.
words along the way.
Of course.
I
Yes.
still remember doing someone to watch over me just to do it, and a friend of mine looks at me. He goes, "Oh my God, you see what happens when you sing?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Wow, I wasn't expecting that."
Yeah. See, that's what you do. You surprise people. So that's all the content that's coming up within the next few days from me, the next few weeks from Eric, or
Mhm.
your actual channel name. I don't remember all those letters, so you might want to say it for the people.
It's cool. I mean, you can find me at YouTube by the under the screen name A4UR8. That's the letter A, the number 4, the letter U, the letter R, and the number 8.
Yeah. So I'm going to say goodnight to you wonderful people, and we will see you soon. At some point, we might do another collaboration. I don't know, but we will both see you soon.
So long, everybody.